Often.
Yeah, it seems like you did some really good work here.
He did. We used to say we used to see each other out pretty often.
Good afternoon. Today is Monday, April 18th. It is approximately 2:10 in the afternoon. This is the meeting of the Landbank Committee. In attendance today, we have Lieutenant Dahlgren. We have Assistant City Manager John Orzak. We have Community Development Director Jonathan Holliday. We have City Commissioner Stephen Pajali. And in attendance, we have Debbie Eversole, Landbank Administrator, Kristen Baroni, City Clerk, Administrative Assistant, and Blake Harris is also in attendance. So today we'll call the meeting to order. And the first item for business would be to approve the minutes from the December 6th, 2021. That was a typo on the agenda. The December 6th, 2021 meeting minutes. Did everybody get a chance to read those minutes?
Deb, just a quick question. Can you, if you haven't already, can you clarify for the group who all is a voting member today on the committee?
Yeah, that was going to be next. So the committee is formed of 4 voting city staff members who are involved in administrative functions through the land reutilization program, including the city manager designee, director of community development, Sandusky police chief or designee, and law director. And then it also is formed of a city commissioner as a voting member and is appointed by city commission. So we do have 4 voting members here today. Mr. Heil has been excused. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the December 6th. Would that'd be December 6th, 2021?
2021, yes.
Meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, if there's no discussion on those minutes, I'll go around and call the roll. Lieutenant Dahlgren?
Yes.
Mr. Orzak?
Yes.
Mr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Okay, those are approved. There is no old business, but we did want to, and I guess this does seem a little out of order, but we did want to welcome Commissioner Pajali, and then welcome back Mr. Orzak. And then with that, I did do like a brief discussion of what the land reutilization program actually functions as and what the purpose is. So with this being the first meeting of 2022, I figured I'd just give a brief synopsis. We established the land reutilization program in accordance with Chapter 5722 in June of 2007. This program allows the city to acquire vacant and abandoned tax delinquent property with future goal of productive reuse of the land. The purpose of the city land reutilization program is to create new revitalization opportunities for the city by acquiring property through tax foreclosure, forfeited land sales initiated by the Erie County Treasurer's Office. The goal of the land reutilization program is to return vacant land and abandoned tax delinquent property to productive use that benefits the community. Along with returning the property to tax producing status, the property will also be maintained and rid of potential illegal activity. The Landbank Committee meets the 3rd Monday of each month when necessary. We often don't have applications, and with the current situations, there was a stall in the foreclosure process, so we didn't have as many opportunities to acquire land as we had. So as you all know, that we have had some canceled meetings. I did already go over who is assigned to the Land Bank Committee. And then the things that you will be asked to vote on We will bring to this meeting land acquisition. Typically, there's 3 ways that we can acquire land. Typically 3 ways that we deal with here at the city. We deal with tax foreclosure. We get a list produced by the prosecutor's office. We deal with forfeited land, and that list is provided to us by the Erie County Auditor. And then oftentimes, private property owners may be underwater with their assessments or with their tax foreclosures, and they do decide to gift their property in lieu of foreclosure to the city. So when that comes about, we will do our due diligence to see about the property, if there's any liens on the property, if it would be a good use for the city, and then we'll bring that to your vote. And then property sales. Typically, there's 3 ways that we bring sales to your attention. Sales for property of lots usually go for no less than fair market value. That could be through the Erie County Auditor's valuation or through a market opinion. And then the first way would be the sale of non-buildable lots. These are for irregular shaped lots or smaller than, and this can be changed at any time, but in our Mo-to-Own program, we list smaller than 40 by 125. So that's through our Mo-to-Own program, and this option would be offered to property owners that adjoin either side of the city-owned property. The applicant would pay an earnest money deposit of all the expenses that the city has incurred to acquire the property and what the city has to transfer the property as far as deed preparation, transfer fees, recording fees, anything of that such. Sale of buildable lots must be committed to construction, and we would sell those also at fair market value. The applicant would pay no less than fair market value with the conditions on the deed that construction will begin within 90 days of obtaining the title, and completion of the build would be 12 months of obtaining the title. Now, we do have some exceptions to that if weather, delays any of that, or, the current conditions now, materials, that sort of thing. We can certainly give extensions if we see progress happening. And then the third way would be sales with a structure on the property. So sales with a structure on the property would normally go through an RFP process because we would have multiple interested parties. So in that case, we would rarely get these types of properties, but when we do, we would evaluate them for rehabilitation or demolition, and the property would be competitively bid, and the proposals would be reviewed and voted on through this committee. And then anything voted on through this committee would ultimately be voted on through City Commission. So that's just briefly what we do here. And usually the meetings are quite simple, quite short and sweet. But sometimes, we do have formal discussion and such, But that's.
Can I ask you a question, not to
Sure.
put you on the spot? But we had historically over the years had acquisition zones that we had in place. Are there still acquisition zones in place or not? I can't remember, and it's been a while since I've been on the committee.
I don't know if we've ever formally distinguished those, but I know that we did have acquisition zones on the south side with the MacArthur Park area, on 3rd Street. There were several acquisition zones, so we did have them in place. So I don't know if they ever distinguish.
Thank you.
Or extinguish. So next, we do have some property acquisition. So there are 4 parcels that we are looking to obtain, and these are all through the tax foreclosure process. The first of which is 1939 3rd Street. This is the only one that does have a single-family structure on it. So there's the aerial on the auditor's site. And then this is a picture of the property. So this is currently condemned with the city. It is zoned R140. The city owns both parcels on either side of this. And the dimensions on the parcel are 40 feet by 135. This is a vacant one-story, single-family residential structure. The living area is 768 square feet of living space with 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. If acquired, it will be evaluated for either rehabilitation or demolition. There was news that the bank may have taken back possession of this property, but should it ever come back, we would have permission and first dibs at the property if it ever did come back through. So a lot of these properties, we just ask for permission should they come available to us. So this would be one that we would like to have permission to acquire. And if we do get permission in this meeting, we would go through City Commission for permission as well. Next, we have Milan Road. This is 2 vacant parcels. These parcels were once where a 2-family structure stood. The structure was demolished in 2019. Each lot is 132 feet deep. And one is 33 feet wide, the other is 28 feet wide. And if acquired, it would be marketed for development. The city does own, I believe, one side of that. And then next, we have 2131 West Forest, currently owned by the Erie County Land Reutilization Corporation. At this point right now, they are responsible for maintaining this property. Demolition has been done on this property, and they have no further use for this. They do know that this is an acquisition zone of ours, and we do have future plans for this area. The structure was demolished with their NIP grant funds, and they are willing to transfer this property to us. So we would need permission to do so. And then the next one is, this is kind of at an intersection. It's kind of land between houses or between parcels. It's abandoned rail property. So we've tried with CSX Railroad to acquire this property through purchase, and they've denied all of our offers. But they are delinquent on their taxes, so the treasurer's office has agreed to move forward with foreclosure. This property, as you can see, does span through a long ways, and it crosses Reese Street there. At the end of that top property there, we do own property, and it would connect 2 of our city parks, or it would be a partial pathway to 2 of our city parks. Let's see. Yeah, we would use this parcel as a public connector trail. So those are the 4 parcels that I could see that may be going into foreclosure status or already, do have case numbers. So if we want to discuss any of those, or if you guys want to vote on it.
So you're just looking for approval in case they go into the foreclosure process?
Yeah, And it doesn't automatically mean that we would get them through foreclosure. Obviously, a private party could vote on that, or could bid on those
Yeah.
at sheriff's sale. So this would mean we would get the resolution at city commission, and the prosecutor would then post in the paper that we would get first opportunity should there be no bidders. So that would mean that would only go to sheriff's sale one time, if it's posted in the paper that way. So we try to get ahead of the game, otherwise it might take a longer process.
You want to do these individually? In case
No,
there's discussion on
it's
all of
all,
them, or what?
well, you can do discussion, or Exhibit A would be approval or denial of all of them.
I guess before I would vote on the Milan Road one, those two parcels, are we going to join those properties together to make one buildable lot? Or how did you envision that? Because the lot size seems pretty small to build, so I'm not quite sure why we were going to acquire them unless we're going to combine the lot to build.
We could absolutely do that. Yeah, they're both about, I think that there may have been an easement or something. It looks like they were both 33 by 132 at one time, if I go back. Because it looks like it had kind of a line through it, that some kind of a split or modification was done. If you can see that white line there, it looks like somebody had been approved for a split or an easement of some sort. So, you know, either putting them back to 33 by 132 or combining them to make it a 66 by 132.
Did you say we own the lot south of that also then?
I believe when I looked it up, we did, but I don't know if I can get there that quickly.
That's like another. Yeah.
I think Chief Orzak makes a good point, though, that if we did get these two properties, it would make sense to look at combining them for one property, or if, on the other hand, we own the property to the south, perhaps we'd have to look at the measurements more closely, but maybe we put all three together and make two development sites. I definitely would agree that 28 feet is much narrower than we're seeing a demand for development. So I do think a reuse strategy would require consolidation of the two properties at a minimum.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, yeah, we do own the property to the south.
Yeah, so in that case, we may be looking at putting all three together and creating two lots if we're able to get these northern two. And just doing some rough numbers in terms of widths, that might make for two really nice home sites there at that location.
Guess I would make a motion to acquire the Exhibit A, the four lots, 1939 Third, 1222 Milan, 2131 West Forest, and the CSX property. I know that's been on the city's radar for quite a few years for the connector trail.
Second.
Okay, I'll go around and call the roll then.
Just for the,
Sure.
for my clarification, so if it goes through once and nobody takes it through sheriff's sale, then the city would have first dibs on it?
The way that I understand it, if the prosecutor receives our resolution before they post the sheriff's sale, they will post it in the paper that if there's no bidders after the first sale, the city would, acquire or get the properties,
And-
if they post it that way in the paper.
And is there any cost to us?
The cost to us would be deed transfer
That's it.
initially. The sheriff would take care of, preparing the deed. We would do deed transfer, but then if we were to sell the property, we would prepare the deeds, deed transfer and that sort of thing.
And do the taxes stay, or do those get wiped off?
The taxes would be wiped off.
Okay.
Yep.
And I just wonder if that railroad property, if we can get clear title to that, even if we get it. Sometimes the railroad can be a little difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot difficult.
Any other questions or discussion?
No.
Okay. Lieutenant Dahlgren?
Yes.
Mr. Orzak?
Yes.
Mr. Holliday?
Yes.
Commissioner Pajali?
Yes.
Okay, that would pass. This will go through City Commission then for final approval. And then the discussion will be that the land bank schedule, I think I already kind of said that we do have a schedule on the calendar, that it's the third Monday of the month at 2:00 p.m. If there are no applications, then we do tell you the week before that it's canceled. So that could possibly happen. So if you don't receive any notification, the agenda will come out either Wednesday or Thursday. I try to give you at least a day's notice to look at it before Monday and the weekend, I guess, but before Monday. And then the website, it has been requested several times that we post the agenda minutes and, just the agenda and the minutes to the website. So on the Land Bank page, we did post this agenda, the full agenda with the supporting documents. So once we get the signed copy of the minutes, well, these are from December, so that won't apply. But next meeting, we'll get the signed minutes and we'll post those as well to the website. So the meetings are streamed, so those are on our YouTube channel. And I don't know if there's anything else that, we did want to add a little bit more to the discussion, that our Cold Creek parcels, if everybody remembers, we started with about 40 residential Cold Creek parcels. We were slowly selling them on our own, and we did sign a listing agent, Hody, and they were going very well with us. They were selling them 2 and 3 at a time, but now we did just sign or enter into a contract with Paragon Principal Capital of Ohio. They're also known as Paraprin, for 22 of those residential lots. So that will take us down to 1 residential lot and the 4 multifamily lots. So the 1 residential, we already have kind of a tentative agreement with. And should that fall through, Paraprin is ready to go ahead and purchase that too. So, but we're hopeful for the tentative purchaser for that. So that's good news.
And if I could just mention,
Sure.
Deb, for the group, Deb's been doing a great job working with Hody to close each one of those transactions. And really what kicked off the fast pace of those sales was the authorization that we got from City Commission that really streamlined the process. We established a fair framework and pricing structure for each parcel, and we're able to get the authority to administratively close on those whenever the offers came in at that minimum level. And here we are less than a year later, and we've now sold every one of those single-family lots. So great job, Deb, and thanks to City Commission for doing that. That's brought a lot of money back into the city coffers, pay down the debt at Cold Creek, and really kick off a building spurt that's going on out there that is just really impressive to see. And the good news is we still have other single-family development sites scattered throughout the city available through our land bank. So, Deb, can you let folks know where they can see our remaining available properties and what they should do if they're interested in buying one to build a new home in the city?
Mm-hmm. The land bank inventory is on our City of Sandusky website. It's www.cityofsandusky.com. You would navigate to the development page, and On the left side, I believe, there will be a Landbank tab. If you're navigating on your phone, I believe it would say sub-menu. Just look for the Landbank tab, though, and you'll see property inventory. You'll see the acquisition application if you're looking to purchase a property. But I'm always available as well through email deversol@ci.sandusky.oh.us or 419-627-5832. Okay.
Deb, the lots that Paragon picked up, are they going to develop those lots and then sell them?
They are, yes. So the agreement with Hody specified that they had up to 4 years to develop each lot. So they do have a little bit of a time frame, but they're ready to kick off and, put up a couple of spec homes immediately for people to look at so that they can make their purchase options. Yep. Yeah.
It's going to save a lot of time too on maintaining the lots from the code compliance, mows all those lots out there, so it's good news for them as well.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. If there's nothing further, I think I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. We're adjourned.